You're listening to Free Zone Radio. It's not every day that a novel turns into a full-blown STEM investigation. But Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary lit a fuse in our classroom this fall, and today, two of our students are here to talk about where that spark led them. For Free Zone Radio, I'm Jason Crockett, and this is With Honors, Season 2. Today, we're launching into Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary, the story of a lone scientist who wakes up on a spaceship with no memory and one job: solve an interstellar mystery that could save humanity. But what makes this episode special to me is not that I'm exploring this book alone. Two of my honors sophomores are here with me, ready to unpack the real science behind the fiction and share how this novel launched their own research project ideas for the semester.
Hi, it's Summer again. You guys are going to be sick and tired of me by the time I get out of this class. I'm going to be on this show so much, but it's me again, and I love Project Hail Mary.
Hi, I'm new here. I'm Trever. I am probably a history and science nerd, but I do love this book. It is very good. It is very realistic, and it's very scientific and historical. It's good.
So with that mission ahead of us, and with my students geared up for liftoff, let's step into the conversation. Is it good or is it exciting?
It's really exciting.
There you go. Now let's talk about your episode. So do you know specifically what you want to start off talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So so in previous years, I always had kids read The Hobbit for their fall read, their big fall read. And I grew up as a guy who loved The Hobbit. I love Lord of the Rings. But I also think Hobbit is a great example of looking at how the hero's journey, the monomyth, extends throughout literature. It's a great archetype. It's a great map for it. But this year, I wanted to try something different because, you know what, we're just following the same old rut if we always do the same thing. So I wanted to do something different. And this summer, we did Tomorrow, and now we're trying out Project Hail Mary. So, Summer, what were your initial thoughts?
Okay, so me and Trever have collectively decided that we were robbed.
Of what?
Of a relationship.
Oh, well, okay.
Between, okay, you can go.
I know exactly what you're going to talk about.
Okay, I don't think we were robbed of a relationship. I just think we were robbed of more Strat. I love Strat as a character. I'm not really sure about the whole relationship thing, but I wish we had gone back to Earth just to see Strat again. Like, I want to have another dialogue, see where she went, see if she went to jail.
Okay, now, Radio America may or may not be familiar with this book. So one of you needs to tell us basically what happens in this book. Who's going to do it?
Me? Trevor,
Radio America just heard you say me, so now it has to be you. So
you can edit that part out.
No, this is in the books.
Oh, okay.
We're live. There's no take-backs.
Ryland Grace is the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission. And if he fails, humanity and Earth itself will perish. Except that right now, he doesn't know that. He can't even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how to complete it. All he knows is that he's been asleep for a very long time, and he's just been awakened to find himself millions of miles from home with nothing but two corpses for company. His crewmates dead, his memories fuzzily returning, Ryland realizes that an impossible task now confronts him. Hurtling through space on this tiny ship, he must puzzle out an impossible scientific mystery and conquer an extinction-level threat to our species.
That's so good, dude. I love how you just came up with that off the top of your head. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, he's like a science teacher. I mean, he's a former astrophysicist, right?
Yeah.
But now he's back in the junior high bio classroom, and he's been asked to help figure out what is this red beam that we see between the sun and Venus. And it turns out it's a, what do you call them?
Astrophage?
Astrophage, that's right. And it's like this little bacterium. It's this tiny little bacterium that is feeding off the sun, and it's eating solar output. Why do we care? I mean, it's like less than 1% dimmer now. We don't even notice it. But in 30 years, that's going to impact climate disastrously on Earth, and humanity will be extinct. So Rylan Grace and a few others have been sent into space to figure out, what's going on. Eva Stratt, Trevor, who is this Eva Stratt?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure she's Dutch.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, she's Dutch, and she originally did not want to really do this. She's not like seeking the power, which I find is the like key point that she actually can have the power. A global with council kind of with a more proper term.
I don't know. They've never really done that before, so I don't think there is a term.
No, but a committee.
Committee.
Okay, a global committee of basically all the world leaders assigned her as basically to single-handedly lead this mission and set it up at all cost with all power of everything.
Yeah. So she has full decision-making power. She's got full autocratic power. All world governments have looked to her and said, you're going to be our point person. You are our czar for figuring out how to solve this. That's a huge amount of power that she gets to wield. But I agree with you, doesn't that point to some of our best leaders who are like, no, I don't want the power? And they're the reason why they deserve it. It's because you won't abuse it.
Because like if you seek the power, like Hitler, Stalin, then you get those kind of people. And that wouldn't be good because then the project would have never gotten done and it would just have bad.
Right. So Eva Stratt brings Rylan Grace onto the project, and not only in figuring out what is astrophage, not even figuring out, how do we breed it? How do we make fuel out of it? Like, how do we do all of this? How are we going to launch into space? You think that there's a tension, there's a romantic or some sort of tension between them.
I do. Okay, but this is also like I have a romantic lens because obviously I love Pride and Prejudice. So
oh yeah, listen to previous episodes.
But so I'm obviously thinking about it in a more like, ooh, I see potential for a relationship there. But even whenever we read. What's the name? It was a girl, and she was learning how to speak like proper English. What book was it?
When was this? Last year?
Yeah,
this was in 7th grade.
Oh, Pygmalion.
Pygmalion,
okay,
yes. And
okay.
Pygmalion, I was always rooting for her and the guy who was teaching her the phonetics to actually like get together. And then I was so mad at the end of the book whenever they didn't. And then I'm kind of mad at this one because, spoiler alert, they don't get together, but they have this understanding, which, could be mutual, but I feel like there was definitely potential there.
So she looks at it through the lens that's already kind of pre-coded. I expect that there's a strong male lead, a strong female lead. Both of them are single. There's going to be some sort of tension. What about you? You also expected there was going to be a romantic tension?
I didn't really think about it much till the book itself commented on it when I think Ilyunka, like basically the entire staff in the book, they were like, "Oh, you aren't doing stuff with her? That's surprising.
Right.
That's why we thought you were here."
Because even other characters kind of expected, oh wait, we thought you all would be involved.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping I didn't. I was hoping they wouldn't.
Oh,
because
really?
I liked that Stratt was just independent and like on her own, which I think is good for her character. And I also didn't really want to. I liked Ryan Gosling as like only focusing on this and not having to worry about a love life or anything like that. He's single, he's boring. But
you just called him Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling is such a perfect person for this role, though.
It's Rylan Grace.
Grace. I'm sorry.
So Radio America, Rylan Grace is the character, but there is a movie coming out in March, and Ryan Gosling is going to be the actor for it.
Oh, okay.
But their names are similar. How about that?
That's actually really funny.
Whenever you first told us that Ryan Gosling was playing this like super like Interstellar movie, I'm like, what the heck? That is not what I would expect for an outer space movie. You know what I mean? It's like serious, like the world's depending on him. And then you have Ryan Gosling out here who sung I'm Just Ken in the Barbie movie. Right. So I was like, that's surprising. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wait, right?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
but he
it
was
is.
also in La La Land, like way earlier, a major award-winning movie. Like Gosling's done a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like he's got some acting chops. He can be Ken. Mm-hmm. He can be Rylan Grace. He can be a lot of things. Mm-hmm.
But whenever I read the first chapter, I'm like, you know what? Ryan Gosling is perfect.
Really?
I do.
So you saw him from the get-go.
Yeah, I see it. Did you not?
I don't know that I did. Now, I think when I finally picked it up, because I first read it a year ago in October, I knew that Gosling was going to be in the movie version of it. I don't think I'd seen any of the promotional pictures for him yet. But I mean, I don't know that he was my vision. I just don't know that I had a vision for Ryland Grace of what he should be like. I could tell you people that shouldn't play him. I knew that Nick Offerman, who played Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec, is not Ryland Grace. I knew he wasn't going to be some big, burly, angry kind of man. You know he's not going to be that. He's got to be young enough that he is still like enthusiastic about his work, enthusiastic about his connection with these kids in class, but old enough that he's distant enough from those kids to be like a mentor figure for them. And Ryan Gosling does fit that age gap. He fits that energy for him. He just wasn't my first pick, but I don't know that I had a first pick.
Yeah.
I originally, the way I described him when I first saw him was a scientific Ryan Reynolds. When I first when I first read like the first chapter,
Yes.
a scientific Ryan Reynolds.
So how would Ryan Reynolds be more scientific?
Well, I don't know, just the comedy that
Ryland
Grace gives reminds me of Ryan Reynolds in a lot of ways, like the comedy to himself, but also like a lot of sarcasm,
Right.
and it just reminds me of.
But it's lightly sarcastic.
Exactly.
It's not mean. It's not cruel
Exactly.
sarcasm, right? It's just light sarcasm, and you like being slapped around a little bit like that. Yeah.
You know, I feel like if you were a biology teacher, that Ryland Grace could be you.
Oh, dude.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, because you are like sarcastic with your
Yeah.
students, and you are a mentor figure for a lot of.
Am I not too old and angry and irritable to be Ryland Grace?
Well,
A little bit, just a little bit. That's a really sweet compliment. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
your personality fits, I think.
It does.
Let's talk about that too. Ryland Grace has no children. He has no wife. He has no girlfriend. He has no real attachments. So for me, I did expect that he was going to get back together with Eva Stratt. I expected that at the end of the book, there was going to be some sort of connection with them, but that never happened. I do see Ryland Grace has a reason to care for saving planet Earth beyond like, oh, it's noble to save planet Earth. It is. He doesn't have kids. He doesn't necessarily have family that connects him. Why is he doing this?
Well, technically, he does have kids.
Because
He has relationships with his students. He loves his job so much. Like, and I can tell, like, from like the get-go that he's just an awesome biology teacher. He's like throwing bean bags to these kids for getting the answer right. And I can just imagine the little kids fighting over the bean bag and be like, no, actually, that's not the right answer. And I mean, I definitely feel like he's a really good biology teacher, and that he has all these relationships with these kids.
Yeah.
And of course, he's going to want to save Earth for them, because he's like, you know what? They're going to have to grow up in this Earth, on this planet.
that was a part that got me when he realizes the magnitude of what's going to happen, and he comes back into the classroom trying, like, how do you go back to normal? How do you, knowing what's going to happen eventually? And the kids bring it up. And I think he is trying to be cautious in how he describes it. And I notice that I do the same thing in class where I say, you don't care what my politics are. I don't care what yours are. But if we can't talk about everything, we can't talk about anything. And then he starts talking about, like, the sun is going to be dim. It's going to be eaten. And one of the kids says, my dad says that's not true. My dad says that's fake news. And it's like, I'm not here to argue, but I am here to teach you science. And when he tells the kids, this is going to happen, the looks on their faces bother him. And it's like, when's it going to happen, Mr. Grace? 30 years.
Oh.
And what do the kids do?
They brush it
He's like,
off.
it's fine.
Oh,
it's fine.
We
It's
don't
like a
care.
million years
30
ago.
years. That's a million years. And it's like, no, it's really not 30 years. That got me because he's looking at them like a dad, like a school dad, looking at these kids knowing in 30 years, you're going to be, Crockett's age. And then you'll have kids who won't survive. You'll be the parents having to watch your own kids in a world that's dying. I may not even be alive by that point. But you will be. You'll be paying the price for something I couldn't stop. And dude, that right there is a heavy thing to think about. I told you I love Lord of the Rings. And when Frodo Baggins is having to take the ring back and they're in the mines of Moria, they kind of stop and camp for a minute. And Frodo admits his exhaustion to Gandalf. And he's like, dude, I wish this had never happened to me. And Gandalf kind of tells him the same thing. He's like, exactly, Frodo. Everybody who lives through these moments of crisis feels the same thing. I wish it had never happened to me. But, you don't want it to happen to your kids. You don't want it to happen to your grandkids. Yeah. I'd rather it go ahead and happen to me and I deal with it and not them. That was a big thing for me. What other points got you all? Was there any other points that stood out to you?
I have a story to tell.
Tell it.
Okay, so I started reading this book, and me and my dad, we go to the gym in the mornings before school and everything. So I was walking on the treadmill, and then I was getting to the part where like Rylan and Rocky were like he had to go out of his atmosphere to save Ryland Grace. And I sat there waiting on my dad to get out of the bathroom, and I was just bawling. And all of these people that were walking into the gym just kept looking at me like, why are you crying right now? And I was like, don't look at me. This is an emotional part. Let me. And I didn't talk the entire ride home because I was like, I can't believe that the writer did that to Rocky. And I was mad at you, Mr. Crockett, because I was not expecting like him to be treated that way because I love Rocky. Andy Weir did a great job of writing him.
Radio America doesn't know who you're talking about. They don't know who Rocky is. We only just told them what this book is about. Now you have to tell them about Rocky.
Yeah. So Rocky is an alien that Ryland Grace discovered whenever he was out in the middle of nowhere, really.
Yeah.
And they kind of grow this brotherly bond. Like it's something unlike any of the other relationships you have because obviously it's with an alien. I mean, they watch each other sleep, but you understand why because that's how they would protect their friends because they were left defenseless whenever they were asleep. They were like totally unconscious.
Yeah.
And then Rocky, he's kind of like sarcastic too because I think Christopher quoted this thing in his project and he was like, when you no sleep, you dumb. And it's so funny. Rocky, I just love him.
Yeah. Did you expect that we were going to encounter an alien character?
Only because of the movie preview.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I love Rocky as a character because it's realistic. It's not like the alien with the big head because that's so unrealistic. It's just designed to scare people. It's like extraterrestrial. It is like Rock. His name is Rocky, not from Sylvester Stallone.
but that irony comes back to play.
Yeah, that
multiple
does.
times.
But he's like his carapace. He's like a spider. His carapace is like very rock shaped, kind of. So.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounced it whenever you read it in your head? Because I pronounced it a completely different way whenever I read it in my head.
What did you say?
Carapace.
Oh,
well,
carapace.
I've heard it before, and also I did listen. I listened to the audiobook.
Oh, that's how you got
it. See, so a lot of things I struggle. I don't struggle with reading, but I read really slowly. So the audiobook helped me keep up, and honestly, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. So this is one of the few books I would read on its own, but I'm so glad I did listen to the audiobook because there's a lot of things I wouldn't know how to pronounce.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
That did. And I just like knowing the names and the voices there.
Yeah.
It's just, I like it.
My wife has been listening to the audiobook version of it as well. And when I've listened to some of the chapters, so I get to hear the narrator's voice too. Do you listen to a lot of audiobooks?
Not really. The only ones I've really listened to are for school.
Yeah. So the guy who does this audiobook compared to other audiobook voices, you think he's good? You think what?
I think he's good because I think there's a lot of different voices for different characters. I've had a couple where it's just like 2 or 3 voices.
Is it realistic when he does the voices?
I think so.
Because some voice actors for these audiobooks will just go way out on a limb, and it doesn't sound authentic.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a problem with this guy doing like when he does Eva Strat's voice, he's really talking normally, but you can hear a faint Dutch to his voice, and it's like, oh, that was pretty good.
I love all the little accents that he gives all the characters. I think it's great.
But it doesn't feel overcooked or any of it. It feels right. Rocky is this bizarre looking creature, but that I think lines up with Ryland Grace's hypothesis from the very beginning, is that when we do find life beyond Earth, it's not going to be little green men. It's not going to be human. It's going to look markedly different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had honors kids. Ooh, I don't want to spoil this.
Spoil it.
No, I don't want to spoil it.
No, go ahead.
But there's like this little lesson that I do. I usually save it at the end of the year with Hamlet, because Hamlet is struggling with this supernatural crisis of his own, and he tells his best friend, there are more things in heaven and earth than have ever been dreamt of by all your school teachings, by all your philosophy. We don't know exactly what everything is. During Halloween, we talked about ghost stories and these podcasts, and whether we believe in ghost stories or not, you find people have had experiences they just can't explain. So I do this lesson with them because one time I had an honors kid tell me, Mr. Crockett, you really think aliens are real? And I was like, I mean, there's a huge universe out there. I think statistically we're foolish if there's not.
Yeah.
And she was looking at me and she said, I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I mean, she wasn't being rude. She didn't say it in a rude way, but it was just like, I felt called like, Jason, here's an opportunity to have a conversation with a kid and be like, but here's why Hamlet's right. There are more things out there. And so I go through this whole mini lesson where we look at the size of the universe, and it's kind of staggering when you back away from things and think about the size of our galaxy, of our cluster, of black holes, of stars, and just like the universe is vast. We may never encounter it, but you're telling me that in all of creation, we're the only tiny pixel that has life on it? Really? Really? And so what if we did get to another planet and we found fossilized bacteria? Technically, that's life. Technically, I found life.
Yeah.
What if you find that life is really like these long strings that are almost like invisible worms? They're just so microscopic, but they're long and they exist between stars. Like that's life, right? If you found an eagle on a mountain, that's life. It just doesn't look like little green men. It doesn't look like humans.
Yeah.
So why are we being so naive? And Ryland Grace's hypothesis, what was it? That if we find life,
that it wasn't going to be water-based, I think, because it was like so hot that it would be impossible. But then he's like, oh, I'm wrong.
He was wrong twice, too.
Yeah.
Like, he was wrong with the astrophage.
Because
which
it's
is
literally
completely
made of water.
And then Rocky is basically a steam engine. So.
oh my, that's right. He's wrong 2 times. But what a wonderful conversation that I get to have with you all. Do not get huge egotistical heads out of this. But I adore your class. And I love getting to have these conversations with you all, because we did the same thing when listening to the Ghost podcast, and the same thing now is that, I'm not always right. And you're not always right. And sometimes we find sources for our research project that are like, I didn't think about it that way. Maybe my previous notions were a little bit wrong. That's growing up. That's maturity.
I do want to talk about that one.
Well, do it. Take it.
Okay. With my project, I was really just expecting it to be, I did mine over like resources and resource scarcity. And I intended it just to be, okay, when you don't have resources, you fight over what's left. And like you can see that even just in one household when there's like one cookie left in the jar and every kid's gonna fight it over it. I have 3 siblings and then I started to look at what the opposite spectrum is, and that got into a lot of psychological things with rats, and I vaguely had heard about it before, but not as much as I researched it. And it's really crazy what happens when like a society is given everything and they don't have to do anything with it. And in the tests, it's horrible because like then they forget how to do basic things. And then there's a group that forms, which is called the what is it called? I don't remember what they're called. They basically just go off. They stop completely socializing and obsessively groom themselves. They're rats. That's the test.
Oh.
And they're called the perfect ones, I think. But and in that basically signifies when a society is going to just collapse because they don't socialize at all. They don't reproduce. They're just constantly focusing on themselves, and that's it.
You know, that kind of sounds like our society today, Trevor. We're getting deep in here.
I'm checking out. Do you want to talk about your research projects now, or do you want to talk more book?
I mean, I can talk about my research project. I mean,
Okay.
Originally I was like, maybe I should do it, maybe I shouldn't, because I wanted to talk about the ethics of sending man on a one-way mission to like outer space in general, because of course, Rylan Grace, he didn't know it at the time, but he was basically forced to go. And then he's like, oh, that's really humbling because I realized that I'm a coward for not wanting to go. And then I'm like, you know what? There's so many ways that you could like take that. I had to think about how I was going to actually like phrase my argument, and I needed to know what my argument was first before I could even do that, because I know I've talked to you, Trevor, about a lot of it, and Trevor's like, well, there's resources on other planets, and then there's give me some more points, Trevor.
Oh, well,
I'm blanking.
You had asked me why do we even need to go to space? Why do we spend money on it? That was the first question.
Yeah.
And I was telling her that we have there are resources on our planet. That's part of my research project. There's resources on the moon. Well, water a lot on the moon, North and South Pole. But then other planets have like, as you said, gold is rare here, but it is like really common across the universe.
Right.
So there's a bunch of stuff that's in space that we would want if you want from like a government or financial perspective.
Yeah. And your topic, so everybody in class was tasked with finding a STEM-related topic that's going to bridge the gap between Project Hail Mary and some real-world issue. How would you articulate your topic?
Well, I mean, like, people are thinking about going to Mars. They've planned a mission to go to Mars where it's a one-way mission. And then there's also, like, missions that they're thinking about in the future, like lunar missions where, like, they wouldn't even be able to send like experienced astronauts because like the level of radiation that they've been exposed to could like negatively impact their cognitive ability once they actually get there. So like what would be the point of sending them if they're not gonna like be able to actually think when they get there because they have so much radiation and cancer. And then like one of the alarming statistics that I read was like 95%. It's like 95% more likely that they'll die from cancer or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so then you have like inexperienced astronauts. And then I'm like, well, what if they're not even like needed? So one of the things that I'm going to say is like, well, space probes, I mean, and you can argue that like, you know, humans have the ability to do so much more than a space probe can, but there's so many like geniuses out there. Is there a way you can figure out how to control a space probe from Earth so you would still have the human intuition, but also the ability, like, not limiting of the human body? I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that you could take it, so I don't know.
But it's about the ethics
Yeah.
of what we're doing with human space travel. And Trevor's is about the scarcity or the overflow of resources and how that affects a society.
Yeah.
These are huge topics. Those are really good topics. You said you were mad about what potentially happened to Rocky, and I remember you being so mad when you came to class. Do you remember what I said to you about it, though?
Just like read the next chapter. I was so mad that I didn't want to read the next chapter, though. I was like, I'm so mad at Andy Weir. But I finally sat down and I read it, and I was like, okay, so I was overreacting. Nothing bad happened except Rylan and his science experiments almost killed Rocky trying to like fix him. So
My wife was mad about that same exact chapter just the other day. She literally was mad about it too. Do you need to open the door, bud? You can open it. It's not going to affect anything. You're good.
With
Leave it cracked open for you or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, she was listening to the audiobook, and she sat down on the couch the other day and said, Rocky dies. And I just looked at her and I grinned real big. And I said, I don't know. Does he? But I told her the same thing. The book is called Project Hail Mary. Mm-hmm. What's the whole idea of a Hail Mary?
It's like a
Last resort.
Yeah, it's a last-ditch effort. It's a last resort. It's that final pass that you hope makes it. This was a one-way trip. And nobody was intended to survive this one. You bring up that this is a book about self-sacrifice. And it is, like, beyond the text. It's all well and good that we read these books in the classroom, but if we don't go beyond the text, what are we even doing here? Mm-hmm. And what is this really about? Are you willing to sacrifice yourself for the next generation? And sacrificing yourself doesn't necessarily mean your life. It's like, what aspects of yourself? Jason Crockett picked to become a teacher. I did not pick this because everybody wants that teacher cash. That is not why they did this. But I did sacrifice certain things about my career, my goals, because I knew that it was going to fulfill certain things about my other goals in this life, that it's going to be a public service, that I get to interact with other human beings, that you get to fuel the next upcoming generation. And that's a huge responsibility. And I get to be one small little instrumental part to that. So are you willing to sacrifice certain things for the others? One of these days, you're going to have kids. One of these days, Trevor's going to have kids. He's going to have like 7 of them, and they're all going to get little killdozers by Mattel, and they're going to drive them around in the parking lot. But one of these days, he's going to have kids, and he's going to have to think, what do I do to make sure that my kids are getting everything they need? What are we willing to sacrifice?
See, I would love to say that I would be point blank willing to sacrifice my life for going to space. If I had the knowledge, I definitely don't have the knowledge right now. I don't understand what's time relativity.
Oh, relativity.
I don't understand that. I'm just going to say that I don't understand that. And, I understand that, it just warps.
Right.
But I can't calculate it out. You know what I mean? And so, I would love to say that I would do that. But you always talk about how, Fight Club, you never know what you're going to actually do until you're in a fight.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's true. So relativity, Ryland Grace is traveling from our sun to a nearby star called Tau Ceti. And it's supposed to be 12 light years away, right?
Mm-hmm.
13. Yeah. So he's traveling near the speed of light, but it's just such a huge amount of energy produced by this astrophage that he's allowed to travel at this incredible speed. The closer you get to the speed of light, everything around you is happening at a different speed and a different time because speed, mass, time, they're all related. The best way I can try to put it into your head is imagine we're on a train together. You, me, Trever, we're all on a train together. And that train's going down the rail at 200 miles an hour, let's say. You and I are right. Oh, yeah. It's a bullet train. And we're looking out the window. What are we going to see out the window?
Blurs.
Right? It's going to be everything out there. Although, I don't know. I think also if you looked out the window, you would see things passing, but I don't know that it would look like a blur exactly. Now, if Summer were outside the train, standing right beside the track, and here comes that train, it's going to look like a blur to you. But from our perspective inside, you're going to be a figure that suddenly passes rapidly by. That's relativity. From your outsider's perspective, we were a blur, instantly there and instantly gone. But from inside the train, we see everything else from a different perspective. It's passing differently to us. Also, we're in a train going 200 miles an hour down the rail. Trever gets up and walks from this car to the next car. How fast is he traveling from inside to the next?
I don't know.
Well, I would be just traveling technically it would just be walking pace for me. But
technically, he's just moving at walking speed, but technically he's also 200 miles an hour plus walking speed.
Yeah.
So that's relativity. And while it looks one way to you, it looks a different way to somebody else. Ryland Grace has only been gone, let's say, 13 years. but to everybody else on Earth, it's been a great amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
He's not been light speed, but it's been close.
Isn't it 13 years on Earth, and isn't it like 4 for him?
Right. Okay. Thank you for fixing that. That's right. But yeah, it's been, so his return trip, if he were able to return, would also have taken it up to like 26 years.
Yeah, in total.
That's almost that 30-year gap.
Yeah.
And if we thought, oh man, life is going to be dead on Earth in 30 years, that means for whatever to get back to Earth with the business, that's only going to leave 4 years to save Earth.
Yeah. Ooh.
No pressure.
Have y'all ever seen Interstellar by Christopher Nolan?
Oh,
No.
I've seen. I think I know the general idea. I've seen like clips and a lot about it. But
Okay, well, don't tell anybody, but we're going to watch it in class as part of this. And that also deals with relativity and the passage of time and self-sacrifice and father figures and knowing my age will be different by the time her age, whatever. Like that filters into it. Time is a resource for Ryle and Grace. Rocky is also having to do the same thing. Ryle and Grace traveled with 2 other compatriots who were dead by the time he arrived. Rocky traveled with others of his own kind too. Do you remember how many?
I think it was
27. 27, I think.
It's like 20 some of them, and they're dead by the time he gets there.
Rocky's so smart, though.
Right.
The thing is, I find this so interesting because he's really smart at the specific things. But overall, if you look at him from a human perspective, when it comes to space travel, he's very dumb when it comes to space travel. Because like he didn't.
Why is that?
Because he doesn't know about radiation because his atmosphere, his gravity is so heavy in his atmosphere, just radiation never affected them.
Right.
Yeah, and they also live
Or
in the
they
dark.
thought.
Well,
Right.
Yeah. On their planet it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he also didn't know about relativity because they literally basically just created their entire space program.
Can you believe that they just solved everything because of astrophage?
Yeah, that's actually well, astrophage is a great resource, so I think that's kind of a good thing. Well, not a good thing, but
No, but I agree. But that's what I was going to say is that would have been a cool project for somebody in class to do, how crisis suddenly inspires like scientific achievements.
I think a couple people did do that.
Did they? Yeah, I can't wait to look at it.
Have they not talked to you about it?
Do you know, everybody I think has submitted their topic proposals, but I don't think I've looked through all of them just yet.
But I'm
going to edit this bit out. I'm a terrible teacher.
it's okay. It's okay.
I'm going to edit that out.
You have a life, too.
Exactly.
That's
I understand
true,
the
but
feeling. I mean,
still.
like, you're staying after school in this
Almost
podcast.
every day.
Yeah.
What is he willing to sacrifice? But yeah, I think, who was I talking about? Oh yeah, we were talking about this the other day. Like, why did the United States go to the moon?
Because they were in a rush with
the
Russia.
Soviets.
Yeah. If the Soviets had not launched Sputnik to prove that they could do it, we would not have had Kennedy say before the end of the decade, we're going to put man on the moon. We wouldn't have had the space race. Why did the Soviets launch Sputnik around planet Earth?
Why? Because they were trying to prove to the world that they're better than the U.S.
They were trying to threaten the United States with technological superiority. We can launch Sputnik into the air. We can launch missiles at you. We can have superiority over you, which makes the U.S. have to step up to the plate and be like, no, we can launch men on the moon.
Yeah.
We could easily have progressed and said, next is Mars. But after the moon, we stopped.
Well,
Why?
One thing is, okay, so the with the space race, the only thing the U.S. really won was the moon. The Soviets got everything else. But
Agreed.
But the thing is, it was so rushed. Like they Sputnik, it was fine. It was not very good. It was basically just a radio broadcaster in a tin can, practically.
It was terrifying to Americans,
It
though,
was.
who are like, oh my gosh, Soviets did that. What else could they do?
Well, do you know what was on Sputnik?
What?
It was a radio broadcast that would, I forget what it did, but it beeped at, like, it would project into U.S. radios. And it was only up there for a couple of years. That's why any space movie that has Sputnik is false. But
why did we stop at the moon? Why didn't we go onto Mars?
because the Russians they broke apart. The Soviet Union.
That's
collapsed.
exactly right. They stopped being a technological threat. There was no need to go beyond it.
Yeah.
We could have been going out into the stars, but there's no need to. It's only when crisis drives innovation.
competition fuels everything.
Yeah.
Like our example, or heck, our military.
Yeah.
We really stopped after 1991, and then we kind of kicked it up a little bit after 2001. But after when 1991 hit, our budget was completely cut for the military and space agencies and everything because the Soviets were no more. And then now it's starting to ramp up as China starts coming on for the plate.
Competition fuels everything. Trevor, I was promised as a kid that we would have flying cars by the year 2015. Back to the Future Part 2 said we would have flying cars, hoverboards, hologram theaters by 2015. We don't.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, actually, I think there
They're
has
testing
been
it.
flying cars, air quotes.
Yeah.
But like they're not actually on a feasibly, like the average
Right.
consumer can't buy
And
it.
a lot of
you
them
know?
are in China. But
Yeah.
But our technological path pursued miniaturization.
yeah.
And now we have cell phones that have, oh my goodness, the cell phones that you have vastly more computing power than the tin cans we sent to the moon.
Exactly. That's like I've looked at this. Our phones are more powerful than all the computers in the face. It's just crazy.
The computing power you have in a Palm device is insane. We pursued miniaturization.
Yeah.
But I could have had flying cars. I could have had colonies on Mars by now.
Would you rather have
How would
flying?
air traffic work?
Oh, I don't know. But it apparently didn't seem to be a problem.
Well, in that movie,
I don't think it would have been a problem.
if we were going from Back to the Future ideas, they had like I think they had like a second highway that was above. I think that would work, like a second highway.
Oh,
above
yeah,
the
because they all fly. That's right.
Yeah.
This is another tangent, and it's not Project Hail Mary related, but
That's okay.
Back to the Future. Have you all seen like the Back to the Future?
I've seen
have.
all.
Okay.
I don't exactly remember like the entire like plot of it, but I remember the basics.
I'm telling you, those movies are so well written and planned out, just because of the theory of how every change you make to the timeline breaks and creates an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
And every choice you make is going to have a billion different consequences. And in part 2, when Biff steals the book and goes back in time to make young Biff rich, right? In part 2. And then you come back to the alternate 1985, the dark timeline where Biff is like the wealthiest man ever. We fix it. And Marty goes back to Doc to show him the pictures in like good shape again and says, yeah, I don't know what happened to the old man, but he took care of himself. He never had those guts before. Doc Brown looks at the camera, blinks, and says, never? He was never like that? And then he kind of waves it away and says, never mind, let's go. I think it's because Doc Brown knows we've altered the timeline again, and the future that you think you've fixed is not your regular future, like we've altered it again. We're never, ever, ever going to go back to the right future because it's always going to be different.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, that's eerie. Like
That does make me feel like we definitely shouldn't go back in time because I'm like, that's not the way it was intended to be.
Did you ever read that short story freshman year?
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
What's it called?
Butterfly?
Yeah.
Oh,
Distant
yes.
Thunder. Sound of
Yes.
Distant Thunder. Where even just one tiny little mistake has drastic consequences.
I would have liked it if it was longer though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a
I
short
agree.
story, so.
Yeah. I would still like more.
Yeah.
Ryland Grace gets to the chance to interact with Rocky. They have to use their scientific, processes. That was something I loved about the book, is that they're always resorting back to science. And not that science can solve everything, but just that science, when you're in a crunch, let's go back to the basics, follow your scientific principle, and try to figure out, are we in a centrifuge? Is that my sun? How do we fish these things off the surface of Adrian or the atmosphere of Adrian? How do we do these things? I love that he turned back to the basics. He used what he knew.
Yeah, he knew all of this stuff, how to calculate whatever, but he didn't even remember his own name.
Yeah. Okay, that's also something that irritated me about the book, is that there were always these lines of, oh, I just solved, by dividing pi by r or whatever. How do I know that? Middle school science teachers know these things. Lies. Lies.
Well, okay.
Come on. It's not because he's a middle school science teacher.
Well, okay, listen, I would say one thing is because, if I told you to recite the entire idea of Hamlet,
Sure.
could you do that?
I could recite to you a monologue from Shakespeare right now.
Exactly.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life is but a shadow, a poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. I can do that.
Exactly.
Because I'm a high school English teacher?
Because you've done it for so long. And
Right.
And one other thing, heck, people ask me like, what's this? You know what I mean? And there's certain things that everyone's good at. Like when it comes to military stuff, I can identify it really good because that's
But not because you're a sophomore in high school. And we know that.
It's because I'm interested in that. And
Right.
It's because he's interested in that.
Because what was his previous career?
An astrophysicist.
He was an astrophysicist. That's why he knows these things. It's not because he's an 8th grade science teacher.
I
Yeah,
thought he was
true.
high school.
I think it's
He
a mix.
calls it, it's weird. He says junior high.
Okay, so it is 8th grade.
Well, I don't know. Because technically junior high also goes into 9th grade.
yeah.
So he's somewhere in that zone.
somewhere like that.
Yeah. I just thought that was a cop-out answer.
What it reminded, well, personally, I learned a lot of that in 8th grade. So that's,
okay.
That's what I think his grade.
Well, Trevor's just not like other girls. He knew it. It's because he got it in middle school. Trevor, were there any like favorite parts or least favorite parts?
can I talk about the characters?
Do it.
Okay. This is one of the few books I didn't just listen to the audiobook. I read the book while listening to the audiobook. That
Right.
helps me a lot.
Because you're a good kid.
But I loved every single character except the 2 American pilots. Because they were a mess. I didn't like them. And even that one, only another annoying guy was the guy who was trying to get the Beatles, but he was like annoying in a good way, and he was also.
Oh yeah.
But like I did not like the other American pilots.
Why?
I don't know. Like all the other ones are really like Yao is just silent. And he's good. I love all the Russians.
The strong, silent type from
Exactly.
Yao,
He's stereotypical. I love all the Russians, Dmitry, Ilyunka, all that. Great. I loved all the scientists. I loved how they had different personalities. I love how one of them was a felon.
Oh yeah. Because this is crunch time. It's crisis. We're going to use everybody that we can use.
Exactly. But I just didn't like the 2 Americans because one of them is like, he has no social skills, yet he's just like, it's annoying. And then the other girl, she's okay. She's not but the way them two, she's bad by proxy.
Oh, Trev. Did you have anybody you didn't like? Any characters?
You know what? I don't think I did. I
You
was
liked
surprised.
everybody.
I was surprised by some of the relationships and things that happened.
yeah.
But you know what? I feel like it fits. I fits the stereotype of like Russians. You know what I mean? And or just like.
What's there? I thought we were talking about the relationship.
Well, I'm talking about the Russians.
What's
The
that?
ones that were like, I have 5 minutes. Do you want to like?
Oh, those were the Americans.
Yeah,
Those were the Americans.
Yeah, that was Dubois and I can't remember her
Those were
name.
the
Shepard.
Yeah, they were
Shepard.
Shepard. That's right.
Those are 2 Americans. That's why I didn't like them.
Okay, what a perfect
You know
segue
what? That
into
makes more
this, though.
sense.
Because I feel like you guys as sophomores, I do not mean to be old man looking down his nose at kids these days. I am not. But you guys are sophomores and you are getting into a wider, larger world where you're going to interact with so many people who have so many different relationships and love in so many different ways. Like, I love that you get to have that experience where it's like, oh, there are so many different kinds of people out there. And sometimes that can be really shocking, right? Because it doesn't fit necessarily my value system. It doesn't fit what my sense of normal or traditional is. And yet there's just so many people out there that are going to just interact in different ways. Dubois and Shepard do have a physical relationship with each other, but it doesn't really extend beyond that, right?
Yeah. Which is kind of goes against the science of everything, but like that's a topic for another day. I don't want to talk about that right now.
But it's because your value system also expects that if there's going to be a relationship there, it should be grounded in other things and not just temporary physical connections.
Yes.
And Trevor would say the same, right?
Yeah, and I also just I didn't like how Dubois like worded everything.
Oh, sure.
He was very like blunt. Like, okay, I think personally, I don't think there was much of a problem. I didn't have much of a problem with the relationship. I was with how blunt Dubois was.
Yes.
I didn't. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think that's supposed to be because his character is just, I'm thinking this way. This is all that we care about right now. You care for this transaction? Great. And then all of that.
Yeah.
But Ryland Grace is shocked by it too. Right? So we're there with Ryland Grace where it's also like, whoa, what? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Like that kind of surprises him.
I think the author is really good at that with this book because, like, A, with that, and then B, with the whole him not knowing that people thought he had something with Strat.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's the author's really
He's
good
naive in a way. How about that?
And he also plays into like what we know is as much as Dr. Grace knows, basically as much, because it's completely from his perspective, which I think is good. I think it was good writing, but
Should we talk about the end of the book?
I actually liked the end of the book. It was kind of heartwarming.
Should we do spoilers for people?
Yes, they should have read the book
we've
by
already
now.
Spoiled like most.
So spoilers, everybody dies in this book.
Bum.
They all wind up dead, orbiting Tau Ceti. Everything's done.
And
The end. Thanks for joining our show. I told my wife, because she was very upset with the potential. She's just at the part where Rocky and Ryland Grace have parted ways. They figured out how to control astrophage, but while he's rocketing away, Ryland Grace has realized that this Taumoeba has gotten loose and is eating all of his astrophage. And he knows, oh no, I'm about to be stranded. But even if he solves it, Rocky won't know. And Rocky could be out there adrift. And Rocky's homeworld will be dead because Rocky never saved it. And she's just getting to that point. And she's like, this is going to have a, I said, it does have a happy ending of some way. It does. Am I lying? Does
You're
it?
not
No.
lying. I enjoyed the ending. Because, I mean, it kind of like goes back to where it started. It just feels like, you know, like he's in the classroom with his little alien kids.
You call it heartwarming. Tell Radio America, basically, how does it end?
Okay, so like it's like a couple years later he's like older and like, well, older meaning that like physically he's older, like his bones are like crippled, he's like hunched over.
the gravity doesn't help.
Yeah.
Oh, no, right?
Yeah. And then, but like Rocky's people found a way to like make his environment and figure out a way to make me burgers, which
Yeah,
is
that's right.
like cannibalism. But that's another, is it? I mean, like it's yourself, but that's, I don't know, that's an
It's-
interesting topic. But he's like over there and he's teaching the alien kids all about science, just how he started out in the beginning of the book. And I just feel like it was full circle.
He does risk going back to find Rocky. He could easily have missed it. He could easily have been a needle in a billion haystacks and not found him, and then he and Rocky would be dead. But he goes back, he finds Rocky, he saves him, and ultimately they go back to Rocky's homeworld. Ryland sends the probes back to Earth so the info can go to them, but he joins Rocky and lives out the rest of his days on Rocky's homeworld, teaching science to kids.
Which is so sweet.
I think it's sweet. I did like the ending, but I really wish he would go back to Earth. I wish Earth would know he's like didn't die, because I feel like Earth just doesn't. Well, they do know that they found someone and everything, and that they found alien life and all that. But like, if you brought him back to Earth to be able to tell everything, it's so much better than a dialogue and a script. You know what I mean?
I think that's the cost of our acts of heroism. I think that's the cost of our service, is that not everybody gets to know what a great heroic thing you did.
Yeah, I agree. That makes sense.
I think there's a beauty in that, though.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, like, it's just like you describe being a teacher as just like being a part of the little things. I don't know. I just think that's really beautiful, because I'm like, you know what? You're right. I mean, you do get to like be a tiny little part in the world and make a difference. And then like, you know, it'll only matter to the people who like, you know, thought you mattered, which is kind of, I just think that it's beautiful. I don't know.
I like that sentiment, because there are like if you just think of it through the lens of teachers, there are so many good teachers in this country, so many people who are teachers. And I'll never know those classrooms. I'll never know, the work that they did. And if I'm here 10 years from now, great. But if not, the kids in this classroom won't know of what we had here. So you will know because you and I, like we had a great class. We had a great year together and a great relationship fueling whatever. And your future and mine will go on having that value. But beyond that, America will never know what Jason Crockett was like. America will never know because I'm just one of many different teachers. I'm an unsung aspect of it. And that's kind of the way it's supposed to be. This is a confession time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I hate when classrooms are turned into a popularity contest.
Ooh, yeah.
I hate. So we recently did Teacher of the Year, and I love the guy that got it. He deserves it so much.
Who was it?
It was Coach Craig.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like, excellent candidate for Teacher of the Year. But beyond that, I think that there is this cult of popularity. There's this this idolization of some teachers, and I hate that because what we do in these classrooms should not be about us.
Well, okay, I have two things about that.
Okay.
First off, I think if you're a good teacher, people are going to like you. That's why I think
Yeah.
I know you mentioned this a couple times, how people like coming back to your class or talking to you, and people generally like your class, which I think is good. I think if you like a class, I think you should be able to like that teacher as a good. And I don't let's just say, pretend I hated this class. Do you think I'm going to come back?
No, I just want it to matter to you. I want the work that we do in here, the experience you have to matter to you.
Yeah.
But I also say that I get the irony is that I was literally saying, I hope that this matters to you. And there's also a giant picture of Jason Crockett on the wall looking at me right now. So I get that there is some irony to this vanity that's right here in front of me. But it shouldn't be about me. We're here to teach you. I'm supposed to be, I know I'm in charge of the classroom, but I'm your servant.
See,
I want to help that.
I agree, but also at the same time, the teachers that I love, are the teachers that I have relationships with.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not necessarily I didn't enjoy your class. It's just I was able to have a connection with you, like Miss Farley. I love Miss Farley. I go up and talk to her, and I bet you I'll visit her class. And then Mr. Crockett, I talk to you, and I feel this year I've been able to connect with a lot of my teachers more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that just makes the whole experience and learning in the classroom easier.
Yeah. They do something at our graduation now where the principal gets up and says, every year the senior class votes on their most influential teacher, their favorite teacher. And then this year it is so-and-so. He's been doing that the last 3 years. I hate that.
What?
I hate it not because of the people who have won it.
Didn't you win it last year, though, Mr. Crockett?
No.
Really?
Oh, no.
Yeah, but you got praised by both the valedictorians.
Okay. I just, okay, I'm going to shut up now.
I think I understand.
Hard for me to say that next part.
I want to hear it.
No, it's just, I don't want to make graduation night about us because graduation night's supposed to be about you all. And you did kind of put me in my place by saying, but didn't they both kind of reference you? And it's I'll shut up now. I'll take my seat.
I think if a student wants to reference a teacher, I think that's good. But I also don't think it helps that because I think it turns into a popularity contest.
That's the only thing I don't want. Yeah.
But one thing is, I think of it in the way is when you were talking about that people will never know what your class is like. I want my siblings to have your class. I'm the oldest.
Oh, okay.
And every time I have a really good teacher or I have the exact same set, the 4 teachers or whatever, I hope my siblings have those teachers, especially my brother Jake.
Yeah.
If he ever does listen to this, hopefully he will. But
you'll have to play it for him.
I will. But he's smarter out of all my brothers, my two brothers. Ben's good too, but you know what I mean.
The rest of them are going to hear this and be glaring at you right now.
Oh my God.
You called us the dumb ones?
But Jake's a nerd, really a nerd like me, and I hope he gets to experience classes like this. I really do, and I hope they all do. Honestly, it's good for them, and you're a really good teacher.
Well, cool. Thank you.
I just want them to experience that.
I also understand the irony that I have my own podcast, which is basically my own radio station about my own stuff. And I was playing a Coach Haston podcast one day, and Ansley didn't know I was in the room. And she was like, is that him talking in his own classroom? And I heard her say, it's giving ego. And then I walked around the corner. I was like, it is a little bit. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we're done?
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I bet you I'll be able to think of something as soon as I
We can always do a
driving
part two. What I was going to say is you have to rate the book real quick on a scale of 1 to 5. What would you rate it?
I'd say 6.
A 6. Whoa. What about you?
I can't rate it higher than Pride and Prejudice. So 4.8.
4.8. So this is a 6 for you?
Okay, I don't hate reading, but I'm
Yeah.
also I'm a really slow reader. I get all my stuff. I watch as I did for my research project. I like watching geopolitical YouTube videos. I know that's
Shock. I'm in utter shock right now.
So surprising. But
Yeah.
I've always just been a really slow reader, and this book, so I've never really enjoyed reading because I know Summer and a lot of people will just sit down and read for fun. I can't do that.
Really?
I never have been able to.
Not even the geopolitical thrillers?
Well, the thing is, with a video, I can listen to it and I can do it while I'm eating and stuff. But I do need to read a book. I have a book. I think it's called I don't know what it's written by one of our foreign. What are they called? They're diplomats.
Oh, yeah. Our ambassadors?
Ambassador. It's written by a U.S. ambassador to Russia from
Okay.
2008, I think. But it's about the whole entire Russian after 1991. But I need to read all that. But it's really boring and really complicated in a thick book.
And you like that?
I want to read it eventually, but I like it in a lot of video formats because...
Well, that's fair too, but just also pace yourself. You don't
Yeah.
have to eat the whole book at one time. You can
Yeah.
pace it.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't really have time much. The only reason I have time for the videos is while I'm eating. Or
Trevor, the things that we don't make time for, we're also saying, I'm okay with cutting that out of my life. We make time for the things that are important to us, Trev.
oh, good Lord.
Summer obviously loves Pride and Prejudice more. You can't eclipse that. But for you, you think that this was a 6. Best.
This is at least top 3 favorite books ever.
All right. Now compare it to your summer reading.
Oh,
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
Compare as in how I thought of that?
Yeah. What would you have rated tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow?
Maybe a 3.
Wow.
Maybe,
Bro.
I just found it really. I like action more so, and I also don't like. I just felt like it was so boring and
because it was more relationship and interpersonal
it's
driven.
more relationship. It's basic people. It's boring.
Wow, I would not have called it that. I loved Zevin's book. I don't remember if I rated it a 5 or what, but yeah, oh golly, I loved that book.
I think you told us you did. You really liked it, and I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good, but if I had to choose, if I could read Project Hail Mary 10 times or read
yeah.
twice or maybe even once, I would read Project Hail Mary 10 times.
Andy Weir has another book that you might be interested in, The Martian.
Didn't they make a movie?
They did with Matt Damon.
Oh my gosh, I need to watch.
Have you seen that movie?
I need to watch it.
Okay, heads up for you and Radio America. I also considered using The Martian as your summer read, but The Martian is loaded with the F word. I mean, loaded with it. I remember watching the movie with my family being like, yikes, it was a lot. So if I had used the book in the classroom, I was going to have to get the classroom edition. The publisher made a specific classroom edition that does not use the cussers in it. because there were just so many of them in the original copy.
I don't know about the Martian. I don't know his background, but I really do think it fits Grace's background that he doesn't cuss that much because he's a teacher.
See, I think that was part of the gimmick with Ryland Grace is because maybe Andy Weir got some backlash for so many cussers in The Martian that this is the gimmick. Ryland Grace doesn't cuss.
Yeah.
Almost never. I think there was like one time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's his whole gimmick is that he's like, oh, sugar. Oh, darn.
Oh, great heavens.
Oh, great heavens. That there's just, like he says those things. Martian is pretty good. It's another scientist who is stranded on Mars.
Yeah.
And his crew thinks that he's dead. So they're in a hurry to go back to Earth, only to find out he's actually alive.
Yeah.
And he has to survive for a long time until the crew can like whip back around and come to rescue him. And so it's another, self-sacrifice, independent survivor, isolation kind of thing. And he has a video camera and he vlogs daily about things.
I've seen a lot of clips from the movie, and I've seen, I think, the trailer.
Yeah.
But that is good. Can I say one thing?
Do it.
What is your opinion on like what you first read something and then versus a movie adaptation regarding like Project Hail Mary, like the trailer? Anything different?
With this one, I don't know. You got to be careful because trailers are either going to give you all of the details and they don't really spoil, or they don't leave anything to be spoiled, or they're very careful in crafting what they want to show you. For example, you watch a trailer for probably something like The Dark Knight Rises or Superman, and I feel like so often the trailers just tell you everything that's going to be in the movie. Great, there you go.
Yeah.
But you watch a trailer for a movie like Hereditary, and honestly, it tantalizes you. But even after watching the trailer, you still don't know what that movie's going to be about because I've seen it and I've been shocked by it. I was originally concerned when I saw the Henry Cavill trailer for Man of Steel, and I thought, oh, man, I don't know. I don't know. Superman with a pompadour. He doesn't have, the bright Superman. It's like we're trying to go darker Superman. I don't know. Man of Steel blew me away. Henry Cavill blew me away as Superman. Like such a good Superman. When I watched the trailer for Project Hail Mary, it seems really good, but it also seems kind of peppy in ways. Like he's talking to the camera, trying to figure himself out. Oh, today I met an alien. That was cool. And I don't know that was the exact energy I got from Ryland Grace.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to be silly. But it looks really good. It looks really fun.
The one thing I kept thinking about while I was reading the book is how they portray Rocky, or how he looks, and how I originally viewed him.
Yeah.
When they said spider, I didn't picture a spider for some reason. When they talking about a Rocky thing, I pictured what's that big crab that's at the bottom of the ocean?
Oh, like a king crab.
King crab.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That's what I pictured. Just basically like
I agree.
If you made a Rocky king crab, that's what I thought.
I pictured the same kind of thing except shorter legs, like stumpier legs.
That makes sense. The thing is, I didn't, even though the book said that, I don't know why I didn't. And then in the movie, it looks like a larvae kind of, which is fair, I guess.
Well, you only get hints of seeing him. You see his hands.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was his hands or his...
Yeah, because he's pointing his digits down, and he's like, rear, rear. And Grace is like, no, thumbs up. And he goes, rear.
Well, it's been a while since I saw the trailer. I do remember that. I remember that. I just don't remember what it fully looked like. From what it looked like, it kind of looked like a larvae, but I didn't know.
Yeah, you get hints of it.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to do the jazz hands, right?
Yeah.
There's always, we should start not doing that in class.
I did that jokingly. I was in the band.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trying to communicate with my girlfriend, and we obviously can't hear each other. And she, we were trying to talk, and I did this, and she was like, "Oh, that somehow that also communicate." I think that is a universal thing of being happy. And
I agree. Yeah. All right. So, Trevor, what would you want takeaways to be for Project Hail Mary? If you had, you want people to know about it, or if, hey, you're going to get this out of it, why Project Hail Mary?
Why Project Hail Mary? I think it is very realistic, but also fictional in ways, because there's a lot of things that could be there's a lot of fiction that just like goes overboard, like Star Wars. There's a lot of stuff, but like the fact that the aliens, he doesn't communicate in the same way, or they don't see it all. I think that's really realistic, and that's what I really liked about it.
It's realistic. For me, I think it's also a book that has a lot of heart.
Yeah,
and you're talking about self-sacrifice. You're talking about a guy who's not a father, but he's a school dad, and he's trying to do right by these kids, this next generation. There's possibly romantic tension with Eva Stratt, so there's unfulfilled relationships. You never really know what happens on Earth. We assume the best, we hope the best.
Well, the lights were still on after 4 years, basically. So
that's not a guarantee of anything, Trevor. That's not a guarantee. Like, you're talking about a planet that is dealing with the rapid onset of disastrous climate change. Buddy, I lived through 2020. And in a global pandemic, we did not get together as world societies and be like, here's how we eliminate the threat. No, it turned into Lord of the Flies. And y'all do what you're going to do, and we're going to wear our mask, and we're not going to wear our mask, and you do this, and that's not real. And it was chaos.
2020 was when I actually started getting into news, because I was a very naive kid before that. And then I started staying home. And then I was building a custom Lego set. It wasn't even a Lego set, it was a mock for World War II, but of course it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there in front of the news, and my parents were always watching news. And what's that one? Infection, I think. It's about it's
Contagion.
Like Contagion.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
My parents watched that. The week when we got home. Brought home for school.
Your parents and my family.
Oh my gosh.
We watched that movie.
And I was like, I don't remember how old I was. And then COVID, we didn't know what it was.
No.
We were just home. Oh my gosh.
And you're watching this whole thing of like, is this what's going to happen to
Oh my gosh. I remember being like scared out of my mind, but that was funny.
But Project Hail Mary gives us, I think, a better ideal. What do we call Superman? The ideal of hope. And Ryland Grace, he gives us hope that what we do can matter. We can be self-sacrificers. We can do better. America can do better. Trevor can do better, right? With Honors is a Free Zone radio production, produced here in Sparta, Tennessee. You can find more of our shows here on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to great content. Check out our new show, Second Stage, premiering this season, as well as our brother podcast, A Dead Man's Books and Haston Curation.
Hey everyone, my name is Drew, and I want to talk to you about my show, A Dead Man's Books. The show was created with the mindset of whenever I pass away, as morbidly as that sounds, that my children would inherit my books. And of all the things that I'm going to pass down to them, I think that that's the one thing that I want them to make sure that they keep and go through on their own time. But I want to be there next to them whenever they read these things. And so I created a podcast so that they could go back and listen to me and my friends and other people as we read through these books and what we had to think about it. But it's grown to so much more. We've got authors we interview. We talk about everyday life. We talk about how literature connects to life. All of those things in one place. And now we want you to come along with us and join us. This is a podcast not just for my kids, but for everyone who loves to read, everyone who loves a good story, everyone who's a parent, everyone who's a teacher, everyone who just enjoys literature. This is a place to come. So come join us every Monday on A Dead Man's Books.